Okay guys, we'll start now. I'll just share the screen. You guys can open the RStudio. We'll start with the RStudio. We'll do hands-on. You guys can also code and I will also code. So we'll not learn a lot today, but we'll try to do. Just let me know when you guys are ready. Okay guys. So to tell you about R, so R is also one of the programming languages, but it is widely used in data analysis and it's also used in bioinformatics. So the thing is, just like in Python, you have different libraries designed to handle different tasks. You also have different packages here. I am recording, like I don't have recording access here to my mail ID, so I'm using some extension in the Chrome and I'm trying to record it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was explaining you guys about the R. It is widely used in bioinformatics, especially even if you guys have went through different R programming videos in YouTube, even single RNA sequencing analysis, something like that. They also do that with R. So there are many different applications that can be done using R programming. Now, it is very simple. It is similar to Python, so you will not have hard time in understanding how this works. So I think we can start. So as there is the ritual, whenever we start learning a programming language, the first thing that we do is printing hello world. So we'll try to do that now. Yeah, okay. So hope my screen is visible. This is the R Studio's interface. So what happens is you have installed R first and then you have installed R Studios. R is the programming language and it runs in the backend of the RStudio. RStudio is more like a user-friendly interface where you can see multiple panels. Here you can see, I think, 4 panels, but in R, you can also write code, but it is not that user-friendly. It is more like command line based coding. Are you guys getting it? Okay. Let me know if you guys have any doubts, okay? As I'm also learning, if I know the answer, I'll just tell you right away. If I don't know, I'll just tell you in the next class. So the first is creating a file. As you call it Python file, here it is called as R script and it has .r suffix to the file. And how do you create it? You click on the file and then you see new file. Is my screen visible? Yeah. Okay. You click on the new file on the top left corner and then you can see R script. You can also do Control Shift N. If you do that, a new file will be created. You can see here it says untitled1. You have to save it before you use it so that whatever you write is saved. So how do you do that? Here you can see a blue icon below untitled1. If you click on that, you can choose where you want to save it and you can just give it a name and you can click on save. I have already created one file called as r.01_r as it's the first session of R. So yeah, this is how you create a file. Now you can see 4 different panels. What happens is the left upper corner, this is where you write the code. This is where you write the R script. Here what happens is you can just write the code. I'm just writing something. You can write multiple lines and you can just select those lines which you want to run. Or you can also run the whole file. But this side here, whatever you can see is the console. What you can do is if you write phi will be printed. So it is mostly like how you do console based coding even in Python. Are you guys understanding? Okay. Now there are different panels. We will learn those things when needed in future. I'll just give you an introduction to basics. Here you can see below lower, yeah, here you can see environment history connections tutorial. Here environment is a panel where you can see when a variable is created, you will see like x is equal to, if I write x is equal to 5, you will see if I write x is equal to 5 and if I run this, you can see a value is created and it is stored in the environment. It is basically trying to say that there is a variable x which has the value y. It is the global environment. That is what it is trying to say. And if you want to erase this, you can click on this brush kind of an icon. You can just click yes. You can erase. Similar way here also in the console there is a brush option. Yeah, that is all. And here on the right lower corner, you have files. This is a directory will be connected to this RStudio. You can also use files which are not present in the directory. Directory is nothing but a root or a folder which has different files and it is already connected to RStudio. You can also even change this. And we will do it if required in future. You also have a plot panel. When you print a plot, your plot will be displayed here in this panel. I'll just give you an example. If I print something under plot, you can see a plot has been displayed. So this section is for displaying the plot. You can zoom it, you can export it to different image format, PDF format, etc. You can also erase this again using this brush option. And you have packages here. Package is nothing but different libraries. Hope I think ML people are here. I think Shalini, Ashnish, Sai, Ashwari, Anishka. Yeah, they were attending ML sessions. You have different libraries in Python like NumPy, Pandas. In similar way, you have different packages in R designed to handle different tasks. You click on this install option, you write the package name, you click on the install button, the package will be installed so that you can use it. Everyone got it, right? Okay. Then there is help panel. So what does this help panel do? So this is basically when you have a problem, you want to know how to use something, you can use this. To show you an example, in Python also this function exists, I think sqrt to find the square root. Let's say I just know that there is this function, but I don't know what this is used for. Then what I can do is I can write question mark sqrt parenthesis and I can run this. To run this, you can select the line which you want to run and then you can do control enter. If I do it, the documentation for this function will be displayed under help panel. So basically it is trying to help you with the information so that you can get to know how to use it. Okay, hope everyone is clear with this as well. And then you have viewer and then you have presentation. We will go into those when needed. Now to print, how do you print it? So it is as simple as it is in Python. You write print, then you write parenthesis, then you write double quotes, and then let's write hello world. You can see in the light blue color or purplish color, you have the code, and in the black, you can see the output. Output is displayed in the right side of your uh, RStudios. Everyone getting this right? And I also want to know if I can go a little faster. Every one of you have completed Python course, right? Yes. Anyone who has not completed Python? Okay. I think everyone has completed Python. That's okay. That's nice then. Now, what after printing hello world? You can do mathematical operations like 5 plus 5, or yeah, you will get 10. This is also something you have to know. If my cursor is on the fifth line and if I write the code, like let's say 6 plus 7, if I click Control Enter, the fifth line will be only interpreted and it will give you the output. If you want to run the whole file, you can either do Control A and select everything and run the code. And this is also something you can explore, run the current line and also rerun the previous code region. If my cursor is here, if I click on this rerun the previous code region, all the code which is written before this will be run. And we have to know how to write comments. So just like how it is in Python, you use hash and then you write comments. Maybe, yeah, you can see if I run this, there is no output, it is commented. Okay, now here comes assigning values to the variable. I'll just write the comment so that whoever is using the code file, those who have not attended, can understand. Okay, so here in Python, when you want to assign x is equal to 5, you just write x is equal to 5. This is how you write it, and this does work in R. But what is usually followed is you write a kind of an arrow mark. You have lesser than symbol and then hyphen and then you give space and then you write y. So you are basically directing phi towards x, saying that phi is stored in x or x is equal to phi. You're basically assigning the value of phi to x. Are you guys getting it? This direction is very important, otherwise you will face error. One more way of assigning value is you can write phi plus, but you have to reverse the direction. You have to write x this way. In this case also, x will be equal to phi. You can see when I run this part, x is equal to phi is printed here in the environment side. Okay, now to write multi-line comments. In Python, you have this three quotes option. In Python, you have this three quotes option where you can like write three quotes, and then within the three quotes, you can just write whatever you want, and that will be commented. Unfortunately, it does not happen in R. You will have to comment every single line with the hash. Okay, and then I was actually talking about creating variables. We can also create some, we can also like, I can create age. My age is 20, so yeah, 20, and then you can also create name. So you assign the value in the same way using that assigning. When you want to assign a string value, you have to write double quotes, and within that double quotes, you have to write a string value. And I can print only the age and name part. You can see there are two more values added, name, age. And again, whenever you use double quotes, whatever is written within it will be considered as string. So even if I write age is equal to double quotes 20, it will consider it as a string. Under values, it will be overwritten, and you will see not just 20 but double quotes with 20. And when you print the type of this, you will get to know. So how do you print the type of the variable? So what you do is you have something called as class, and within class, if I write age, you can see here in the output it says character, because age is equal to 20 is stored in double quotes. If I want to know the type of the name, I think it will be same. Let's print it for X. It says numeric. Are you guys understanding? Okay. So there are two ways in which you can print the output. One, let's say if I want to print the age, I can just write the name of the variable and I can just run this line. In the output, you can see 20. But you can also print, you can write print function within parenthesis, you can write age. This will also give you the same output. There will be nothing new. Okay. So in Python, when you want to concatenate, I'm trying to relate everything with Python. As you said, like you guys have learned Python. So what happens is, let's say this will give me error. If I write name is equal to Pannaga, and if I want to add this, what I can do is I can write print and I can write name, comma, I can write is my name. I think this will work in Python, but in R, to do this, or when you want to print two different variables, you use a function called as paste. Let's say I create one more, and if I want to print my name is Pannaga, what I can do is I can write paste. First variable should be subject because I want to print my name is, then I want it to be followed by the name. So if I print this, you can see my name is Pannaga is printed. So this is the way in which you combine or concatenate two variables. Did you guys understand? Okay. If you are facing any problem, if you're not understanding, let me know. Okay, what if you want to assign multiple values to the same variable? Let's say I want to create three different variables. I'll write the comment again. Multiple variables, same value. Let's say you want to create x, y, z, but you want to assign the value 5. What you can do is you can write, if it was for one variable, you could have written like this, but as it is multivariable and you want to assign the same value, you can just create a line like this and you can write this. So you are basically saying phi is going to be assigned to x, y, z. This is how you can just assign the same value to multiple variables. And again, when creating the variable, there are some rules. You cannot create the variable with the number. Let's say if I create to my age is equal to 18, it will give me error. If I run this, you can see unexpected symbol in this string. So there is an error. And also you cannot start the variable with special characters just like how it is in Python. You cannot start this with underscore. I think it will give me error. But yeah, you can start the variable name with dot or full stop. This will not give any error, I think. Yeah, you can see. This is an important point to note. Hope you guys are making notes as well. You cannot use hyphen, you cannot use hyphen, you cannot use space in the variables, you cannot create something like this. You have to join this using underscore, and you cannot use hyphen, you cannot use this at. So special symbols are not allowed in creating the variable. These are some of the things which you guys have to remember. And also Boolean values true and false. I think this will also give us error if I write. Yeah, you can see there is an error. Even this is not allowed. As even in Python you have the keywords which cannot be used as variables. The same way you cannot use true false for the same assigning variables. Now coming to the data types. Data types, yeah. So in R, you have few data types. So in Python, we call decimal numbers as float, but in R, we call them as numeric. Numeric, it's like general numbers. Float also is stored under numeric. For example, I'll just give you one example. Let me write x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 9.87. And if I print this, yeah, you will get x and y here. Now if I try to print the type of both, if I write class of x and class of y, both will be numeric. Even though y is having decimal points, both will be numeric. So numeric is nothing but just a number. It includes decimal numbers and also whole numbers. To specify integers, there is a data type called as integer data type. Okay, I'll just write this is numeric. Yeah. Now the second is integer data type. So in integer data type, let's say I want x is equal to 5 to be an integer value. You have to write capital L after the number. Hope you guys are understanding. If I, or I can create Z. Are you guys doing the coding with me? Okay, that's great. Yeah, that will be helpful. Yeah. So we can write class of Z. If we print this, you can see it says it belongs to class integer. But if I remove L and if I try to print the class again, it says it belongs to numeric. So how do you convert a number into an integer? You just write L. Hope you guys understood. If I write 5.67767 then L, if I try printing this, it will give me error and it will give me, sorry, a warning message that it contains decimal and it will print that it belongs to numeric. So this L will not apply. Hope you guys understood. Now, coming to the third data type, there is something called as complex data type. I think all of you have learned about complex numbers, where I think those mathematicians they found difficulty in calculating the root of -1 and they named it as I. And there are I think separate set of numbers called as complex numbers. They're I think in the form of AI plus B, if I'm not wrong, where I is the complex number. Am I right? Or I think it's A plus BI. Yeah, I think it's A plus BI. Yeah. I is called as the imaginary part. This is called as the imaginary part, B plus I, where I is associated. And this first one, A, which is independent, it is called as the real part. So there is a separate data type in R called as complex data type to handle the complex values. So how do you create that? Let's create a variable m, and I'll write 5 plus 6i. And if I try printing m and class of m, you can see it says it belongs to class complex. One more important thing is there is no error. Yeah, because I have just run this part of it. And even if you write it in the ulta order, reverse order, if you write 6i plus 5, there will not be any error. You can just try that as well. Did you guys understand the complex data type? Hello guys. Okay, okay. So coming to the fourth data type, it is called as character, which is nothing but string. So how do you do that? You can also have whatever you write within the double quotes or single quotes, that is going to be considered as a character. You can have text, you can have numbers, you can have special uh, punctuation marks. So it doesn't matter. You can have various different kind of things. You can, yeah, maybe I'll write just name. So all of this, they belong to class character. Now there is one more class. This is going to be the last class for today. Yeah, it is called as logical. Logical is nothing but true and false. So if I write x is true, I'm basically assigning a boolean value to x. And if I try to print the type, data type of x, if I print this, you can see it says logical. So Boolean values, they belong to a data type called as logical. And also, I think PTech Biotech students, and also I think if MSI students are there, if you guys are, I think you guys are going to learn probability statistics, and I think you will also have a laboratory component for the same. This R programming will be helpful there. We just completed probability statistics, and it was very basic. Yeah, so I think the data type part is over. We'll now jump into the next topic. How do you convert one data type to another data type, which is basically in Python called as typecasting. If you guys remember, it is called as typecasting, changing one type to another type. Let's say there is something x is equal to 5. Here belongs to numeric data type, but I'm going to create one more variable y where I want to convert as integer x. So here what happens is there is a function called as dot and the name of the data type which you want to convert it to. It can be as dot character, it can be as dot numeric. So there are different functions. If I run this and if I print y and x, you can see x is also equal to y is also equal to y. But if I try printing the data type of the same, it will be different. Class of x and then class of y. Yeah, if I try printing the same, you can see x is numeric. As you can clearly see, x is equal to 5. But it says y belongs to integer because we have used this function as dot integer. But if you want to convert y into integer, you can also do y is equal to phi l. Did you guys understand the typecasting? Okay, I'll leave two more functions for homework. One is as dot uh, numeric, and then there is one more function as dot, yeah, array, we will learn it later, as dot character, as dot complex. Let's see, it is there. Yeah, it is there. Okay, just yeah. So these three functions are basically used to convert the first one to numeric variable. Second one, this character function, it will convert whatever you give as input to character, and this will convert whatever you give as input to complex data type. This is homework for you guys. It works in the same way. Hope you guys try this as homework. Okay, well now we are done with typecasting. We will be learning the basics of our programming only. We'll start with the basics. We'll slowly go into functions, class, etc. Okay, now how do you do the mathematical operations? Without storing it in the variable, you can do it in simple lines. Let's say I want to add 3 plus 4. I can just write, and you can see the output 7 has been printed here. And if I want to, let's say, divide 2 by 7, you can also do it. You have got 0.2857. So you are just not you are not storing the numbers in a variable. You are just doing the mathematical operation. As in every coding language, plus for addition, minus for subtraction, and this asterisk for multiplication, and this forward slash for division. Okay, hope you guys understood. This is simple. All right, arithmetic operators. Yeah. Now, there are two functions. One is max and one is min. This maximum function will print the maximum number which is present within this parenthesis. For example, just to give you an example, if I write within maximum function three different numbers, 12, 16, and 30, yeah, and if I try to run this line, you can see 30 is printed because 30 is the maximum number among the three values present within the function. And in the same way, the minimum function works. If I have 2, 1, minus 2, and if I run this, minus 2 is the lowest number. It is the minimum number. If you want to store the minimum or maximum values, what you have to do is you create a variable, you assign it like this. Did you guys understand? Okay. And now, again, there is square root function. If I want to print the square root of a number, you use sqrt parenthesis. Within parenthesis, you will specify the number. If I want to know the square root of 16, you just write it and you have 4 printed. 4 is the square root of 16. And now there is one more function called as absolute, which is nothing but mod function. If you have positive values and if you apply absolute function on it, there will be no change in the sign of the value. But if you have negative values within the same, like minus 4, you can see it will be converted to positive values. It is nothing but mod function. It works the same way. Hope you guys understood this also. Yeah, any of you facing any difficulty in R programming or learning R programming? No, is Gaurav facing difficulty? Okay, okay, no difficulty. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, okay. Who is bacteriophage? I like the username. Yeah, yeah. That's a very good username. I would like to have the name bacteriophage. Yeah. There are now two more functions that we're going to learn. When rounding off a number, there are two ways in which you can, approximate it. One, converting the number to the lowest number. For example, if the given number is 1.4, I can approximate it as 2, or otherwise I can also approximate it as 1. So there are two ways in which I can approximate it. Right? Do you guys agree? In R, there are two functions. One is called as floor function, one is called as ceiling function. So it is nothing but, let's say, ceiling. Ceiling is a function, and within ceiling, you have to write a number. If I write 1.5, this 1.5 will be converted to the upper whole number. If I run this, it will be converted to 2. If I have 1.2 also, it will be converted to 2. Even if it's just little bit greater than 1, it will be converted to the upper whole number. As ceiling, you know, is the top. So same way, you have one more function called as floor. Floor is at the bottom, so it will convert the number to the lower whole number. If I write even 1.9, when you print this line, it will be 1. So it basically approximates the number, but it converts it into a lower whole number. Did you guys understand this? Ceiling and floor approximation. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think VIT uses it. Yeah, that's correct. Very good example. Yeah, I think even if your total weightage is 72.1, it will be converted to 73. Yeah, so now we will learn there is one more function called as nchar, renchar. So what it does is in Python you have a function called as length, which will give you what is the length of the string. In this R, you have nchar function, which will give you the length of the string. For example, let's just create one string. Maybe again, I think we created a lot of variables. That's okay. One, okay, I'll write my name, and then I write nchar, and within this, pass the variable. And if I print this, you can see 7. It just means 7 space is being used by this variable. So it is as simple as that. And there is one function called as grepl. Okay, so there is one function called as grepl, grepl. That's how I pronounce it. It is basically, to check whether a particular value is present in the string or not. For example, let's say I want to check if the character P is present in the string. I can write P within the parenthesis, comma, the name of the variable. So I want to check if P is present in the name variable. If I run this, yeah, it says true. It means P is present. You can also check a single character. If it is present, you can also go and check if multiple characters are present. If PAN is present, it will again say true. But if I write PANG, if I try printing this, it will give false because in my name there is no sequential order where PANG is present in the same order. Yeah. So this is how this grepl function works. Hope you guys understood this. And again, if I want to print a long sentence, we have something called as escape functions in Python, where you basically use this backward slash and n to print something in the new line, and to print double quotes you use backslash quotes, double quotes. All these are called as escape functions. You can also use the same in R. To give you an example, if I want to print my name is, I'm certainly not a narcissist, okay? I'm just taking my example because I think that is better than taking someone else's example. Yeah. Then I can write my n, yeah, this, and my age is 20. Let's try if it works. It did not. If you want to print double quotes, my name is, I want to quote my name. I can just write it like this, and then I can run this. Oh, again, I think you will face error. I want you guys to debug it. One homework, how do we print this in the new line? And one, how do we print the double quotes within the double quotes? Yeah, this I'll write it as homework. Now going to the next topic, which is Boolean. I think you guys have learned something called as operators. Can anyone tell me what are relational or relative operators? Maybe in the chat. Yeah, yeah, correct. Correct, correct. Yeah. So you're basically checking if the two values are equal, lesser than, less, greater than, or greater. Yes, correct, Gaurav. So how do you do that? Again, you use the same set of characters, less than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, and equal to check if the two values are equal. Again, I'll comment this out. So one is where you can store the answer by creating a variable called test. Let's say I want to check if 5 is greater than 8. And if I print this, if I print test, it says false because 5 is not greater than 9. So this is to store the values. If you want to print test again in future, it will just give you false. If you don't want to store the value, you can just try doing different relative operations like this, maybe greater than or equal to 5. I think this will give us true. Yeah. So you can try using various operators. Will not take much time as I think you guys have learned using this in Python. If you're facing any problem, just let me know. If you want to create two separate variables, what we can do is we can just create x is equal to 7, y is equal to, let's say, 9, and you want to check or you want to print whether x is greater than y. You can see it says false. 7 is not greater than 9. So this is also one way of doing it. Hope you guys have no doubts. Now, I actually told you guys about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. In R programming, you can also calculate exponents. So how do you do that? If I want to print 2 square, I can write 2 this symbol and then 2 again. And if I print this, you will see 4. So this symbol is used to write exponents. So it is basically like trying to write 2 square. If you want to write 2 raised to 4, you can write like this and it will give you 16. This is exponent operator, and I'll just write here exponent. Yeah, there is something called as integer division in R programming. So the thing is, when you divide 3 by 4, if I try printing it, we got 0.75. But if I try to divide it using integer division operation, there is a separate set of operators that you have to use: percentage, forward slash, percentage. And if I print this, I'll get 0. So basically what's happening is, whatever that was present on the whole number side, which I have highlighted as you can see, 0 was present and it has given only 0 and it has ignored the decimal part. Did you guys understand what is integer division? If I have, let's say, 9 divided by 7, 9 divided by 7, this will give me some decimal value. But if I again divide it using integer division, I will just get 1. It has ignored this 0.285714 part. And again, I think you have learnt about modulus, which is basically trying to find the remainder. So how do you do that? Wait, I'll just comment this again so that those who want to read the code will understand. Integer division. Yeah. Again, now we have to learn modulus. Again, it's similar. It's calculating the remainder. If I want to divide 5 by 3, so how do I do that? Just write 2 times percentage and then write 3. So it is basically trying to find the remainder when 5 was divided by 3. If I run this, I get 2. Hope you guys understood. Is there any doubt? Why are we getting this 9 by 7 in the output? Even I don't know this one. Okay, we'll think. Now, yeah, I covered this. Yeah, I think I forgot to tell you here, not equal to sign. I think Nishka wrote that in the comment. Exclamatory mark and equal to sign basically says not equal to. Is the pace in which I'm going okay? Or am I going too fast? It is okay, right? As you have completed Python. Everyone, if you want me to slow down, just let me know, okay? Yeah. Okay, there are some more operators called as miscellaneous operators and logical operators. We'll look into that later. Yeah, this was all which I had planned to teach you. So why are we using these things? The thing is, basic coding knowledge should be there so that you can run different analysis using R programming. There are some ready-made functions. For example, I'll just use this. I think there is seqinr package. Just check. It's been long time since even I did this. Seq, yeah. So seqinr. If I install this, yeah. So basically, I'm trying to install the seqinr package, which is used to read sequences. I think there is read faster. Okay, we'll look into this. I think Shreyaka was teaching bioinformatics. I think she mentioned about FASTA. I think you guys learned, I think she introduced you guys to PDB and different databases. Yeah. So what we will be doing is we will be downloading those files. Like I'll search for a protein. Let's say I'll search for lysozyme, enzyme in the PDB. I'll download the sequence of the enzyme in the FASTA format or in the PDB format. I'll import it to RStudio. Then I'll run my analysis. So it is not going to be web based where you do everything on the website or everything on the app. You will be basically downloading those files in the format. Then you will be importing those files here. You can see there is an option called as import dataset. Those who are from ML Bootcamp, the thing is, machine learning can also be done using R programming language. But what I felt is it is comparatively complex. Python is little simpler, and yeah, I think R offers little limited number of models. Not sure, but yeah, Python is beautiful and it's easy compared to R. So you will be importing datasets using here. You can see on the lower bottom there is import dataset button. Yeah. So what we do in the coming classes is once I complete the basics of R, I will start teaching you different analysis using those downloaded FASTA sequences. And I hope you guys make the most of it because we all do. I'm from integrated MSc. I think you guys are all from BTech Biotech, and I think Deepika, I think she's from Health Sciences. Yeah. So I think yeah, there are people from different backgrounds. I think we all have bioinformatics course. I think Gaurav is from bioinformatics. Yeah. But whatever we learn in the course, it is very limited. And even when I contacted seniors, they mostly told it is very simple. Even the other board members who have already completed bioinformatics, they also told in the lab component, you go to the lab, then there are like instructions. Step one, you have to do this. Step two, you have to do this, and then you get the output. And that's all for the session. You're done for the day. You will come back to hostel. And then you will write FAT exam. So mostly we will not be learning much in the curriculum. So I thought, why not we as a student community, we try learning things by ourselves so that if we get into bioinformatics area in future, that will be helpful for all of us. At least we will have learned something. So I'm pretty sure that will be useful to you as well. Okay, I'm really sorry. I think I give long speeches. It's 10:27. Yeah. Any doubts? Did you guys understand the topics that I covered in today's session? Okay. So R is not difficult, guys. R is easy. Just remember that. Okay. Guys, I think that is all for today. I'll just take one screenshot as I have to upload it as proof for the event. Just let me take a screenshot. As this was an event, I have to upload this as proof of the event. Yeah, I think that is all. Thank you so much for bearing with me for 1 hour. And I'll see you guys on today's Wednesday, I think on Friday. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day, guys.